Go for it, girl.
Happy Monday, October 8th. I was sad that I missed you guys last Monday for the first Monday of October, so this is like my first Monday of October with all of you. So things for this week. Shift Shop. The shift is happening. We have new workouts coming. Woo! On sale are Shift Shop challenge packs, Shift Shop apparel, all things Shift Shop. So make sure that you are selling that. Buying and selling Shift Shop challenge packs will gain you access to Chris's exclusive test group. I know a lot of us have been a part of Autumn's, a part of Joel's, and we know from team calls with Chris, we know from Danielle's experience with Chris takes it to a whole new level. If you think his workout videos and his Instagram and whatever you follow him on is inspirational, like only imagine what the test group will be like. So keep sharing the ish out of that. We're going to be rocking October for Luca, so make sure that you use that as motivation for the month. My thing that I'm most excited about, though, is the Energized single serve packets in a new flavor coming out in December. Talk about Christmas coming early. Everyone will be getting those in their stocking stuffers this year. I know I'm putting them in mine, even if I have to buy them for myself. So that is exciting. I mean, talk about liquid gold. I don't know what you can call red gold, fruit punch. I don't know, but I'm excited. So a little more obsessed. So I don't know if you checked your blog today, but a little more obsessed. Some new workout material in there. Talk about some quick 30-minute workouts. You know, I'm all about the hit it and quit it real quick. So I can't even say that 10 times fast. So check those out. Great way to get after it, get your burn on, but not waste your whole day or feel like it's taken forever. And last but not least, I know we're all in America, but if you have any friends in Canada, pumpkin spice is hitting the shelves tomorrow, so get it while you can. And if you missed it in the US, find your way to Canada real quick and maybe you can hop on the train. So that's all I got, and I'm going to turn it over to Danielle because I can't wait to hear about what this Colors of the Wind Pocahontas stuff is about. When you say Disney movies, I say there.
I know. I was like, where's Steph when we need her? She'll watch it later. Man, how do I follow that up? Couple quick other things I wanted to add to Bree's announcements is I want you guys to write December 31st. Hopefully you have a notepad out because you need one for tonight. So grab your little notebooks. December 31st, 1-star diamond gets you to LA. There's this little thing called New Leaders Conference at the beginning of 2019. It's either January or February. And basically it is hands down my favorite event because it's new and emerging leaders in Beachbody. They pay for your hotel if you earn it, and you go to corporate, you go work out with the trainers, you go see where Shakeology is, all the good stuff. So I'm going to continuously talk about that for you guys and help that be a focus and a push for the end of the year because it's totally possible. The second thing I want to say is Super Saturday is the weekend of October 20th, so that's 2 weekends away. I know we have a lot of you going to different events or trying to figure out where to go, so let's start that conversation in the team page and make sure as many people as possible are going to Super Saturday because, y'all, I've missed one Super Saturday in my 4.5 years, and there's something to be said about that. Success leaves clues, and there's a reason that going to events changes your business, okay? And then the last thing I wanted to remind you guys of is hitting Success Club the rest of the year. So October, November, December, you help 3 people every single month, earns you $200 towards Summit if you're a Diamond Coach and below. So that's my goal for our entire team. If you're a Diamond Coach and below, which is all of you on this call right now, I want you earning that $200 because it's free money and they've never done that. So that's a big deal. We're going back to Indianapolis next summer, and Bree will tell you it is like maybe I don't know, every Beachbody event is my favorite, but it's my favorite because we're all together in one spot and all the new announcements come out. We get to celebrate all of our accomplishments. And for Maria, we got to get our Getting Started Right call so we can talk more about that. But I think that was all my announcements. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add? I guess the other thing is I posted about Claire and Lindsay earlier today in the team page, so make sure you guys go check that out and not necessarily reach out to them, but they're going through a tough time. So I'm going to post their address below that post, and if you guys want to shoot them a card, I think that that would mean a lot from our team, as Claire lost her grandmother last week and Lindsay lost her brother this weekend. So let's give some love. Even if you don't know them, a card will be appreciated. So shifting gears, Liz and I are going to be doing this whole Colors of the Wind thing, which I totally just had to make it fun that way, because we're going to be talking about who you guys are and helping you get to know each other better. That is something you guys asked for, and I think it's going to help you share your story, connect with the people you want to work with better, and help you realize that this is really simple. So the whole reason behind the Colors of the Wind is because there's going to be this little thing posted in the team page tonight, this color wheel, where you guys can take the things that we talk about tonight and put them on your wheel, and then we can all share them together. Okay? So it's okay that you don't have it. I'm the only one that does right now. You'll get it. But Liz and I are going to do 3 things with you. We're going to first help you brain dump. Secondly, we're going to help you share your brain dump and kind of focus it. And then the third thing is we're going to help you self-evaluate. So I wanted Liz to kind of kick this off because y'all hear me from all the time. And coming from somebody who's has a more newer coach perspective and has evolved in her journey, I think it'll mean a lot more, and then we'll just go from there.
Hi, how are you guys? Okay, so the purpose of this activity is a few things, and we were talking last week in our leadership mastermind group about like different ways for us to connect. And I think at different points in our journey, we all struggle with one of 2 things, which is, well, I guess it's really one of 3 things. I have no idea what to share, or I share the same thing all the time, or I feel like I share the same thing all the time, or all I share is fitness. And I think we all go through that in phases because it's super easy to be like, I'm doing my workouts right now. I'm really into my workout. Like, that's what I'm sharing on social media because I do it and I love it and like I'm really excited about it. There are other points where you maybe aren't so into your fitness journey, and so you're like, dog mom all day, every day, like 20,000 pictures of my pet. And then there are other times where you just don't share anything because you can't think of things, or you feel like you don't know how to articulate your story, or something funny happened in the chat. And so the point of this activity is so that you guys can have a resource to go back to on those times when you're either over-indexing on one thing or another, or you just feel stuck. Okay, they're having a secret chat. Brianna and Danielle are having a secret chat right now because they're laughing.
I took a picture and it looked like I was picking my nose, but I was just stitching it.
Gross. Nose picker, Brianna. Okay, so anyway, so that's the purpose of today's activity. And I think one thing, just from like, as we're thinking about this and thinking about sharing, one thing that I've struggled with in sharing my story over the past year, well, it's 2 things really. One is kind of silly and one is real life. I always struggle to share old photos. I don't know why. It's like this weird mental block that I have. It's totally stupid. And so as Danielle was talking about things like Summit and Super Saturday and these team calls and any events you have coming up, like take 1 million pictures so that you can use those, because they are really important and you can always reference like those points in your journey using old photos. So just like a tidbit of things to think about as we're going through this activity, and you're like, oh yeah, that vacation I went on 5 years ago, like you can dig up photos from that and still use them. So don't just think about like, oh, things I did recently because I have pictures of that. Like think about, it could be from any time. like everyone loves a good throwback to the 90s. So think about that. And then the other thing that we're going to dive into a little bit, because it's super important, is like sharing the struggle. And for me, that's been really hard this year. When I don't know how to articulate what's going on, I don't say anything. And there's different ways to, process that and to ultimately share it or not share it. Like, not everything that happens in your life is something you share on social media, and that's totally fine. But there are things that happen that you struggle with, that other people struggle with, and that can relate to your journey. And so it's all about finding those things that you struggle with and how you eventually want to articulate them on social media. And so we're going to dig into some of those things that, like, it might not be something that you're ready to share today or even in October, but maybe you set a goal for yourself that, like, hey, by the end of the year, I'm going to figure out a way to share this because I think other people like me are going through it too, or can relate or can understand. If you think you're the only one on the planet that's ever gone through something hard, you're totally not. And so we want to start to peel those things back as a team so that we can help you figure out how to share them. So moral of all of those thoughts is that nothing is off limits. We're going to throw out all kinds of different things, and don't be confined by it was recent or it's easy to talk about or any of that. Like, put it all out on the table. And then, as Danielle mentioned, we're going to brain dump, and then we're going to talk about it as a group. And then we're going to sort of evaluate how you move forward with this information. So I think that was what I was supposed to cover.
Yeah. So I want to preface this with, stop thinking about social media right now, because that's not what this is about. This is about getting to know each other. And then, yeah, you'll evolve that. But I want you guys to think about, the weirder you are, the better. And we're freaking weird because we just talked about picking noses on the team call. But I want you guys to just write down anything that comes to mind when we ask these questions, okay? I don't want you to second guess. I don't want you to think about, well, what would that be applicable on social media? No, I want you to just think about, like, if your best friend were to describe you, what would they write about you? Okay? So the first topic I'm going to ask you about is your history. And what I mean by that is, what is your family life like? Whether it was growing up, whether it was right now, how many siblings did you have? Where did you live? What pets did you have? Where did your parents work? Did they go to school? What sports did you play? Was it chaotic, or was it just by yourself? Just brain dump anything and everything about you growing up. So as you guys write, I'll give you some of mine. For me, I had 3 sisters. I grew up outside of Philadelphia. Both my parents had their masters and they had their own businesses. We traveled a lot with my parents. We were like chauffeured around to lots of activities because it was just like complete chaos. Eating out a lot on the go. We had 2 dogs. Birthdays and celebrations were a big deal. Those are kind of the things that were my childhood. I knew my great grandparents. You guys got a good list, so you should have gotten like at least 5 things down about your history. Katie's still going. All right. Second question. Your personality. Now, the one thing I want Liz to kind of share from her perspective of your best friend thing for a second.
Yeah. Okay. So the point of this is 2 things. So when you think about your personality, like, think about things that your best friend knows about you or thinks about you that other people don't. So for example, I don't think I'm weird. Danielle does think I'm weird. And like, there are things that I say to Danielle that are definitely weird, but like, I would never say them to anyone else. So I don't think I'm actually weird. It's just to Danielle. So think about like your friend, whoever that person is for you, that like you tell them all kinds of weird things. And
okay, but let's go into the weird thing, okay, to be specific.
Okay.
Liz,
Yeah.
when we went to Mexico, Liz goes into the room and she unpacks her entire suitcase, hangs up every single piece of clothing, puts every single thing in a drawer, aligns her shoes in the closet, and I'm over here like, oh, throwing my clothes everywhere, and what should I wear tonight? Like, that's weird to me because it's not like me, because she's type A and organized and together. So that's the stuff I want you guys to write down about yourself. Like, what does your spouse say about you that like maybe annoys the crap out of them that is specific to you?
Like, I don't shower every day and it drives Joey nuts, but it's true. And I refuse to shower every day. So sorry. That's kind of weird. But like, just those things, if guys had hair like mine, like they would understand, right? I think everyone can relate to that. It's what would you know, how do you think about things like that though, outside of your, you know, normal routine, when you have inside jokes with your best friend, like what are they about?
It's like personality character traits. So like for me, the things I wrote down was I'm a big giver. My friends always come first. I'm very sarcastic. I have like dry humor sometimes. I'll smile through anything, but inside I'm pretty emotional. I question a lot of things about myself. I struggle being good enough. So like, what are the thoughts that you have on a daily basis that describe your character and the way you think and the way you act and the choices that you make? And I'm a messy traveler. Actually, a pile suitcase traveler. Bree knows this too. The other thing I thought of is I always like to be on time. That's one thing Liz and I share.
That is true. Okay, are you guys good? Do we want to go to the next one?
Yeah. So the next one is activities and interests. So where do you like to shop? What do you like to eat? Where do you like to travel? Where do you like to spend your time? Like if you had a free Saturday and nothing scheduled, what would that look like for you and your family? If you had more time, what would your ideal day look like? And that's always like a hard question, I think, but where do you want to spend more of your time? So like for me, happy hour. I freaking love it. I would be there every single day if I could, if my waistline allowed. I love wine. I love mixed drinks. I love being at the pool or the beach. I love a good rooftop view. I'll fly anywhere for like fun with my friends. You're good, Maria. I love football games. I love retail therapy and going shopping. Paris and Greece are on my bucket list. So like, where are the things that you want to go? What are the things you love to do currently?
What's your favorite thing to eat? What's your favorite thing to drink? What's your favorite thing to buy?
Indulge. That's like when you get a gift certificate, what would you spend it on at the restaurant or your favorite store? All right, you guys got that? So the next one, we're almost done, we have two more, is what do you spend your money on? I'm asking this method to my madness. Like when you get $100 Amex card from your boss or whatever, like what do you want to go spend that on? And that kind of ties into the last thing we talked about. But like for me, it's always quality over quantity, right? Like I love Lily. You guys know that about me. I love online boutiques. I love workout gear. I would book a trip to see my friends tomorrow, not caring about the cost. I love experiences on the water. So when I travel, if there's like excursion, I'm going to pick going on the cruise. What am I thinking of? Not the yacht, the catamaran. You know, I'm dreaming big, guys. I love spending money on gifts. So like where are the stores that you like to shop? What are the brands you like to buy? What are the things that you love to have retail therapy wise? Is that shoes? Is that gifts for others? Is that your favorite dessert or whatever? I don't know. If you got a sale email tomorrow and it was this brand, you would be there no matter what the cost was, kind of thing. Or if I was to go look at your credit card statement, what would be the biggest expenses on there that are voluntary outside of, you know, your needs, like groceries? Well, I guess groceries could be on your list if you're a big foodie and you love to cook.
If you like cooking, yeah.
Like I know my coach Rachel, she loves to go to Costco and just buy all this crap when she has people come over and just has like ridiculous spread of food. That's just like her joy. All right, you guys got a good list?
Yep.
All right, the last thing is your pain points or what you want more of in your life right now. And it can be right now, or it can also be before you started coaching or before you were a challenger. So what are the things that you stress about when you go to sleep at night? What are the things that you're working on? What are the things that worry you right now or are concern, or that you want to see more of in your life, but you don't quite have it right now? So like for me, financial freedom, student loan and credit card debt, being curvy is a big thing for me. To be accepted, having that pressure from society to be perfect. So it doesn't have to be things, it can be feelings in this category as well. You guys got at least 5? All right. So I want you to look at your list. And if you were to pick 5 things that were the colors of your wind, Pocahontas style, if they were 5 things that kind of were the overarching, this is me, and none of them should be health or fitness, what would they be? And I want you to circle them on your paper. So when you look at your list, what are the 5 things that kind of encompass who you are? And don't worry, you're still going to be able to circle other things outside of these 5, and you can change it. It's really okay. Or they could be the things that are most meaningful to you as well. All right, so I want Liz to kind of talk about the second segment of our call. Sharing, she's going to help you guys share to each other, but also talk for a second about how you're going to use these 5 things to share, because she's been doing an Instagram challenge right now. And I think it's helped her think about things a little bit differently when it comes to what you share on social media. So maybe you can touch on a few things that have helped you over your journey, and then we can all talk about what our 5 things are.
Yep, definitely. So I think, so I'll sort of start with like what my 5 things are. And I think the key here and where this sort of came together for me, and I think for a lot of people, is like, how do you make your 5 things into a story about yourself, not just a list of things on a piece of paper? Because if you treat this like a checklist, like, oh, here's my list of things I need to talk about, that's just kind of boring. Like, oh, I love Starbucks, here's my favorite order. Like, that's okay, and there's room for that, but it's not like the next layer of who you are. And so as you think about how these 5 things are connected, and there's different ways you can sort of weave this. I'm terrible at Disney, and like colors of the wind is not my thing, but like how you make different colors of your wind with different pieces of your story. So if I talk about mine for a second. So in my history section, the thing that I circled was that my parents were divorced. Like when I was really, really tiny, I have no memory of my parents being married in my life, my biological parents, but both of my parents then remarried and re-divorced. And so that was like, there was ups and downs with that. It was sort of, all I knew was that my parents were never married, and then my parents were married, and then they weren't again. And when I was in high school and then in early college was when my parents got divorced again. So it was like sort of like going through it for the first time for me, because I didn't remember it as a small child. But and then taking that into the personality thing I circled, and Danielle touched on this a little bit, is that like I'm kind of a planner, like organized planner person, because growing up in that environment where we were constantly going like from one place to another, one house to another, one like way of living literally to another, the only things I could control were my things and like my little bubble, right? So like I knew that if I wanted something, I had to bring it with me, and that if I wanted to go to see a friend's house, like these are the things I had to do. And like that's how I like organized the chaos in my mind, was through this like self-organization, which is obviously inherently part of my personality. Like no 8-year-old is just like organized like that, but it was part of how I like managed the chaos of my childhood. We also traveled a lot on families, both with my mom and my dad. A lot of times we went to the beach. So the beach is like still one of my favorite places. Joey and I go to the beach often. But like we always went on family vacations, either to the Florida beaches or like Outer Banks, North Carolina. When we lived in Boston, we went to the Boston beaches. So that's like always sort of this like fun, happy place in my mind. I just have a lot of good memories of being at the beach. If I could spend money on anything, it would be Lululemon and Nikes, which is part of, I think, like, I'm just a super active person, and I also work from home, so I don't get dressed like up a lot. So most of my time is spent in yoga pants and tennis shoes. So that's like a part of the story, is that it's not just that I really like yoga pants. It's like I wear them every day because there are days that I don't leave my house, aka today. So that's sort of what I would spend money on. And then a pain point, but like to bring this whole wind circle full. You guys, I'm not a Disney person. I should put that on my list. Is like one of the things that's really important to me as we sort of move into this next chapter of our life, is I really want to find balance between like work and our family, because my parents worked a ton when I was a kid, and we had nannies and that whole bit. And so I would love to like be a stay-at-home mom at some point. not with number one, but hopefully at some point. And just like that family life is really important to me because as a kid, that was a really stressful thing for me. So I don't want to replicate that for our kids. And so, yeah. So one of the reasons when I very first said I was going to be a coach, I wanted to make enough money to quit my job and stay at home. And I think that's like still definitely a part of it. It's really far off from me right now, but like in the very back, deep dark corner of my mind, that is still like really real, that I could use this opportunity to stay at home with my kids. And that would be freaking sweet, like super scary, big goal. But anyway, so those were my 5 things, but that's like, as you think about how you share these things, like it should be a story, not just a list. And that will help you as you're sharing parts of your story, think about like taking it to the next level. So yeah, any questions about that? And I know it's like sort of hard to just like take your 5 things and make them all connect on the spot, but does anyone feel like they can see a path in your 5 things?
Well, the point is you guys are going to share your 5 things right now. So even if you don't know how they connect, it's okay.
Totally.
Because like Liz was saying, you're going to have these 5 things, but then you're going to have layers beyond that are all the things that you wrote down on your list that you can look at and say, okay, I don't know what to post today. And I'm going to say, okay, where's your color wheel? What's something on there that you haven't shared in a while? Let's create a story from that. So,
and like, sorry, I'll just add one other thing. Like, I think the way that you think about creating stories is by connecting 2 things together. So for example, I'm looking at my list now, and like as a kid, I was kind of dorky, and like one of my like, I guess, things that I like to spend money on is like books and, well, books mostly, but Joey and I both like books and puzzles and games and like stuff like that, which, I mean, it's like a little bit dorky, but those things connect, right? So it's not just like, oh, I like puzzles. It's like, you know, as a kid, my family did puzzles, which I was always afraid my friends would think was dorky. So I didn't want anyone to know. And now, you know, funny that I just bought a puzzle for my husband and I's vacation next week, and like I'm sharing it on social media. Like, oh, how times have changed, whatever. But like, those are the types of things that as you are trying to be like, how do I make a story out of the fact that I played softball in middle school? It's like, well, how does that connect to something you do today or something you love, or etc.
And it's going to help you connect to your specific person, because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And that's why I say embrace the weird. Like those little things that seemingly insignificant are actually like exactly who you need to connect with, which is why our team is a lot of Hokies, a lot of Eagles fans, and a lot of Lily Pulitzer lovers. Wonder where that stemmed from. All right, we're going to put you guys on the spot. Brianna, what's your 5 things, girlfriend?
So mine, I am a worrier, like an inherent worrier about all things. And so I think the easy one for me to like share that story is just worry plus any other thing on my list, because chances are if it's written down here, I'm worrying about it. You know, whether it's debts and how I'm going to pay those off, or Christmas. I love Christmas and I love giving gifts to others. Like that is probably my favorite part of Christmas, watching other people open gifts that you've actually thought about and aren't just a gift card, although I love a good gift card. But worrying about too, okay, Christmas is coming up. I want to spend all these things on other people, but how do I do that without going into more debt than I already am, or working myself out of debt while still spending money on other people at Christmas time.
Love that.
That's my 5 things wrapped into one.
Dang, that was good.
So what were your 5 things individually?
Yeah. What were your
So I didn't circle a lot of those. I did circle Christmas and worrying and debts. Those were the 3 that I circled that worked into that one, but I also said I'm a homebody. And right now, my dog is my favorite family member, and I'm not afraid to tell anyone in my family that.
This is so true.
And then just eating out and
experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I grew up in a comfort food family that like you gathered together, and when you were doing stuff together, there was food. And Christmas is a family time. There is food.
I totally wrote birthdays and celebrations were a big deal in my family. So
yeah. I mean, my mom was here this past week, and I feel like she left today, and I was like, I feel like I'm 10 pounds heavier, and it didn't help that it was like the first week of my cycle where it's like, you're the most bloated. I was like, bless you. Reese's cups in my freezer.
I can't wait to see the rest of your list. This is so good. All right, let's keep it rolling. Maria, you're next, my friend.
Okay. Let me know if it's like choppy. My internet's not really working very well. Can you hear me though?
Yeah, we can make you out. You're good.
Okay. So the first thing that I wrote down was that I come from a very Italian, Roman Catholic Italian family. So food was a huge thing in my family as well. As soon as I went to college, I immediately dropped weight just from not eating the food that my mom made. But other than that, I grew up I'm the oldest of 3. I'm the only girl. And I have I stress a lot. So in high school and in middle school, I feel like I was constantly getting myself sick because I was so stressed if I wasn't getting an A, if I wasn't in every club, if I didn't play every sport, which was totally unnecessary. But my parents were kind of perfectionists, so they kind of put that on me. And now as a teacher, I realized that it was so not worth it, and I kind of see life in a different perspective now. But because of growing up that way, I had like anxiety and stress issues still. So that's 3 things that I circled that was really huge for me. Because of all that, I care way too much about what people think. So this whole posting and social media thing is huge for me. Definitely way, way outside my comfort zone. What else did I circle here? My pain points are really clothes that don't fit. I was really tired of all last year waking up every morning and completely destroying my closet because I couldn't find anything that fit. And it wasn't just stressing me out, it was stressing my husband out because he couldn't stand seeing me that way. So that's when I didn't want to start another school year off in that way. So I think that's pretty much my 5 things. I feel like I circled more than 5, but that's what I got.
That was so good. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what do you like to spend money on?
What do I like to spend money on? New clothes. I feel like I'm constantly spending money on Groupon and at BJ's too.
Oh,
I don't know why, but I love Groupon.
That's so cool. My husband probably wants you to teach me that. It's not my strength.
I love a good deal.
Okay, I love a good wife.
Everything's like really delayed on my end. I don't know why.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
All right, we're gonna evolve those. I'm just gonna mute you. Okay, perfect. Sometimes it just gets really backlash, but those were all great things. And okay, who else has ever cared about what somebody else thinks of them on this call, just for fun? Yep. And who else has destroyed their closet before because they don't fit in anything? So you're in good company, and we're going to continue to evolve that. And I added those things to my list. So love it. Okay, Katie, I know you have a mouthful right now. You want me to? I don't know if Nina can go or not. Are you here, Nina?
Yeah, I'm here. I can go.
Go
So
for it.
Katie can keep the bite. So I don't, I'm just to say, I'm just not in a very good place today. So this is really difficult for me. I did circle family. Taking my kids to do fun activities, I think is awesome. Sale clothes. So like I like going to used clothes shops and buying used clothes because I'm total cheap ass, like completely. And so I have to get a bargain on something. Like it has to be on sale or I won't buy it. I bought a pair of like silver jeans from Maurice's or something one time. And they were full price, and I think I almost had a total anxiety or heart attack or something. So it has to be on sale or I don't buy it. Love of learning. So I'm still in school trying to get my bachelor's finally, but I've always had a real passion around learning more about pretty much anything. I really like to learn about myself, World War II history. Love that. And then hippy dippy bullshit. Hippy dippy bullshit intrigues me. So stuff like the chakra and understanding your spirit and twin flames and stuff that people might think is like really, really crazy. I freaking love it.
Okay, you need to follow Andrea Crowder because she is totally into that stuff. And I think she'll give you a lot of great ideas how to share that because I had no idea about that.
Okay.
I'll
Andrea Crowder.
I'll write it in the chat. But she's hilarious, and I think you just get her. She's a little vulgar, just to forewarn you, but she loves that sort of stuff. And
That's totally cool. I'm kind of vulgar too. So
yeah. I think those are great, and I think those are all totally you and on point with your brand. And I appreciate you being here because we're all giving up our time, and that's proof that you're a student, my friend.
thanks, girls.
All right, Katie, you're next.
Okay. So the 5 things I came up with was weight fluctuations as a kid that ultimately resulted a lot of times in all the jokes. So struggling with that I'm not enough, whether it's who I am, whether I'm not good enough, whether what I'm doing is enough, just the whole concept of enough. Travel, I love to travel, really enjoy that. Dogs, how people get like the baby itch. I get the puppy itch about every 2 years. So, I mean, we're up to 3 and I'd like to get another one, but I've been told no. And then, right now, just because of everything, obviously a lot of money is going towards clothes because I mean, almost weekly, I'm having to go through my closet and this doesn't fit, and starting a new pile that's getting donated to somebody else. So those were my 5.
So what are your 3 favorite things that have nothing to do with health and fitness or your dog?
Before this, I would read a lot, Brian, truly smut books. I could get through 3 in 2 days. Photography is what I enjoy doing, vacation and stuff. That's what so many of my pictures are, just the places we've been. And then, just being girly and bright clothes. I like going to get my hair done and getting a pedicure and, putting on makeup and things like that every day.
I like that. I'm adding that to my list. I don't know that it's every day like you, but
Well, if I didn't go to work every day, it probably wouldn't be, but.
I need to think of somebody. I think you might benefit following Ashley Molstad, Katie, and taking some tips from her because I wrote her down. So these are just, here's the thing. If you're somebody who struggles with comparison, you cannot watch them 24/7 all the time. But what you can do is 1 or 2 times a week, check in and look at what they're doing and study them so that you can take something away and implement it. And I think sometimes it's important to look outside of our team and see what somebody else is doing that is successful. So I shared this with Liz before this because they had the big leadership retreat in Vegas this weekend. And guys, these coaches don't share Beachbody. Ashley Molstad, you know what I saw on her Instagram stories? I saw that she was doing face masks. I saw that she was drinking. That is a part of her brand. And that she went to a UFC fight. And you may be thinking, but like, how the heck do those have anything to do with your message? It connects her to people. And that's why Liz was pushing you a little bit, Katie, because it's going to connect you to the people that are like you. Because most people aren't happy every single morning they wake up. Most people don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. Most people are stressed out. They're texting on their phone driving. They're so disconnected from the rest of the world. And they're definitely not getting on a call where they can learn about how to share their story on a Monday night at 8:30 like you guys. So we have to remember who we're speaking to. Same thing with Amy Rada. She shared about football. She shared about being engaged, and she shared about struggling with anxiety. Again, nothing to do with Beachbody. So the last part of this call is I want you guys to ask yourself, those things you shared with us tonight, are you sharing them and opening yourself up to connect with the people like you? Because if you want to hit Success Club, if you want to earn $1,000 by Christmas, if you want to have a team of other babes like you, guess what? You got to share those 5 things. But you also have to connect with the people that are connecting with you, and you need to do it consistent enough that it builds the trust. Because what would happen if I put up one post today and I didn't show up for the rest of the month? Guess what happens to my credibility, right?
Well, and I think the same thing goes, and I love this quote that's like so old, but it was one of my favorites from last Super Saturday in Atlanta. Christine Faulkner, who's actually on our team, she said, as seriously as you take your journey is how seriously people will take your invite. And so if all you ever share about is your dog on Facebook and Instagram, and all of a sudden you're asking someone to do a fitness thing, then they're going to be like, what?
They don't believe
Or
you.
similarly, if all you ever share is fitness and you ask somebody who needs to lose 50 pounds if they want to join you, like that's intimidating as heck for them to be like, I don't know this girl. She's like beast mode, crushing it all the time. And like, I'm over here eating donuts and like, I don't know how to help myself. Like you've got to connect to like all spectrums of those people, because remember, like before you join, sorry, I have something in my eye. But like, those are the types of things you want to think about, is like the girl who's struggling, what does she want to hear? And it's like, Brianna, this weekend my mom was here. We had an amazing time. We did all these things and I ate all the food. Because everyone can relate to that, of like, you're with your family and you eat all the time, and then you like, what do you do to fix it? And those are your people that you want to connect with. So we're almost at the hour, and I know we don't want to take up like too much of your time, but if you pull up your Instagram right now and you look at your grid like this, what do you see? And like, I see a couple pictures with my husband. I see a picture of a group of girls. I see this bump picture that I took. I see a picture of a crowd, a picture of a salad, a picture of me and my dog, like a couple more pictures of my husband, some old pictures of my cat. So like, look at those things, and are your 5 things on that first little bit of scroll? Because no one scrolls to the end. So if you're like, if you can do this one little finger swipe and see all your 5 things, then that's like golden. For me, I can't. I know that because these pictures from back here, so like not even a whole scroll. This is like the top and this is the bottom. This is like July. This is like August. And then September is one row. And then these 2 rows are October. Like I didn't share very much at all. After my mom passed away in July, I like didn't really share anything in August or in September. And so like literally this is October 1st and I've shared every day since October 1st. So for me,
That's a win. That's a win.
Yay! That was a win. That was actually one of my goals this week with Danielle. But like that's okay to say, I know that I didn't do this. This is what I know I've done in the last like 5 or 6 posts. And what do you want this to look like in 1 week? So if you're looking at this and you're thinking none of my 5 things are on here, that's okay because you have 6 nights until the next team call and you can share all 5 of them. And you can, and then you'll be like golden because your whole page will be different things. And like I said, for me, it's always been really hard to like share old photos. Because I just like feel weird about it. So I'm totally with you if you think it's weird too. Just trust me that it's not weird and just do it. It's one of those things that like get over your damn self and like do it, whatever that saying is. Because those events are part of your story and those pictures represent the piece. So just connect those dots for people.
I wanted to, Liz, one more thing. I wanted to put Maria on the spot and ask her to share what made the shift for her, and not to build myself up, but what did she see in what I was sharing that made her want to commit? Because if you guys don't know, Maria's been one of my challengers for probably almost 2 years now, and it was being in the pop-up shop with Liz Hartkey that she finally was like, okay, yes, I want this. But I know that she was watching for the past year. So I'd love for her to just take a minute and share what made her make that shift.
Okay, sorry, my phone is going crazy right now. So yeah, I actually, it's funny that you brought this up because I was just typing up a post earlier before this call. I'm trying to get my grad work done, so I probably won't post it tonight. About that. So I looked it up and I joined May 2017, and it was a month before my wedding. And I don't know why. I think what happened was, and I was trying to put this into so many words into Instagram posts, was I was looking for that quick fix before my wedding, was just to drop a couple pounds. And then that entire year after, I put on the wedding weight and I had all those other medical things going on where I kept packing on pounds. I gained 20 pounds after my wedding, which was less, it was a little bit over a year ago. And I don't know. I think I got to this point where I was just so frustrated and I saw all my friends and they weren't gaining weight and I was like, what's wrong with me? And I was just looking for that quick fix. And I gave up on Beachbody. I don't know why. And I looked for the quick fix, obviously did not find it. So then by the end of the summer, I was just so fed up. I was like, what am I doing? Like, there is no quick fix. Like, I'm never going to find it. And Beachbody worked for me when I did it. So I came back to Beachbody. And my husband and I talked a long time about it. And, I've been following you, Danielle, and seeing your progress. I was like, why don't I just become a coach? Why don't I just hold myself accountable? I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for bettering myself and becoming, the best version of myself. So that's kind of what made me change my mindset. I didn't, like I said before, I didn't want to go into another year teaching and fighting with my closet every morning. It was exhausting last year and I didn't want to do it again. So that's kind of it in a nutshell for the last 2 years.
We'll have to get you to go live when this sounds better in the team page with me, so I can Q&A you a little bit more.
Okay.
That. Thank you for sharing that. But again, it just goes back to consistency, y'all. So taking away from this call, because this isn't another call that you're going to write stuff down, you're never going to look at it again, you're going to file it away. I'm going to post this color wheel on the team page. And what I want you guys to do over the next week, let's say by Friday, I'm giving you a homework assignment. You're going to take the 5 things, and you actually have 12 colors here, okay? So you can take up to 12 main things and put them on this story, okay? And you're going to share your color wheel in the team page. So I want you to take some time and put it as a reminder in your phone. Schedule it as a meeting with yourself for like 20 to 30 minutes. And I want you to print this bad boy out. It doesn't matter if it's grayscale, it doesn't matter. But I want us to get to know each other. And so the evolution of this is Liz, share how we're going to share this with our challengers.
Okay, so I'll be super fast. What I'm going to do is later this week in the hub, I'm going to share an album of photos, and they are going to all be topics of things that people have in common. So Starbucks lover, traveler, dog mom, planning a wedding, teacher, nurse, etc., list goes on. And what your responsibility as a coach is to tag your challengers who fit those different buckets so that they have a place to be connected. And then the evolution of this as a coach is that it's your responsibility if you're really good at something or you're in a pod of people. So you're a teacher, you're in the teacher group. Like maybe you post like, hey guys, I have these rowdy kids. Like, anyone have this? How do you deal with it? Or, hey, found this new teacher thing. I shouldn't use examples that I don't even know about. Like Disney characters and teachers, this is not my thing. You know, hey, I found this new teacher thing, like wanted to share it or whatever. And so that way our challengers can feel more and more connected to our tribe, and it will help us all engage more people, because we all know that the more people in our entire organization who are engaged, the better it is for our entire team. So we have so many people in the hub right now, and so it's really critical that we make them feel included and special and a part of things. So if after I post everything, I'll do instructions and all of that. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Or if there are categories that are missing, you're like, hey, I have challengers. Like Nina, I loved your comment about like hippy dippy stuff. I don't know how to articulate that, but like if that's a thing that a lot of your challengers would connect to, like tell me and I'll make a group for them too. So if you feel like there's something missing, just reach out to me and I'll make another thing and we can add them. So that will be going up in the hub later this week, but it's really important that all of the coaches participate. So I'll post again in the Glow Diggers page and then in the hub about it later this week.
All right, y'all. So find your inner Pocahontas this week. I want to see your color wheels. Liz, I think you need to add Disney to one of your things because I know that's a big thing in our team. And Brianna will be all over that. And I hope you guys are excited about this because like Liz said, this is all about connecting our community and being more integral with people, because this is a relationship business. This is a helping people business, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you guys for being here. I can't wait to see your color wheels. Please message the other coaches on our team and have them do their color wheel and watch this team call. I'm going to put it up tonight so that we can get as many wheels as possible up and moving and connected. All right, y'all. I hope you have an amazing, amazing week, and I'll talk to y'all later.